Go ahead, Scott.
2 to 10, what do you like? Anything different than Saturday?
I like the energy. I think the first time we threw the shoulder pads on here today, we had the ability to still practice hard and not get out of control. You didn't see guys on the ground. Our first year, we had guys all over the place the first time we throw on some pads. So that whole idea of we're becoming a better coach at what we do and giving us the ability to still practice hard, get better, but not be out of control.
Who's the player, the position group that's most excited when the pads get on?
I think the guys up front, because it's so hard to work with each other, work against each other, offensive line in particular, because we can tell them to, hey, be smart about what we're doing, then our defensive line goes out of control and it looks bad on their part. So it's not a whole lot different to them, so they'd rather probably just have the pads on and say, hey, I know I can at least defend myself and be aggressive from my end as well. So I think it probably starts up front.
Do you kind of, when you see Dokes bust through a hole with the acceleration that he does, do you kind of all of a sudden you remember just how talented he is?
Well, we got a little glimpse of it in bowl practice and thought maybe we would see him at that point in time. But I think what it does for me is not just creates competition for Mike and the rest of the guys back there, but also knowing that by the end of the year last year, we only had one or some of the younger backs that were trying to kind of pick it up, and you just can't be successful running the ball like we did last year with having one guy that's getting 30, 35 carries a game. So if we're going to be great at the end of the year, we're going to be great at end of games. We're going to need some more guys like Dokes and Mike and Tavion and Charles and all those guys to be able to support a load.
A little bit of a rest day for Dez in terms of 11 on 11, or just to get Ben a look with the first team?
He had a little toe issue, so he's not feeling the best. And what I don't want him to do is get in bad habits. All of a sudden you start overcompensating because something's doesn't feel right. Right now we're in a good place. It's great for us to get a chance for Ben to get a ton of reps and for Jake Sopko to get a ton of reps, but still get Dez into the situations that he needs to. But it's kind of a little bit of a balance there for us.
A couple transfers in Beavers and Cooks. Cook, you added them in. You got a chance to see them for 3 days. What do you think?
Today was a good day to see, because sometimes when the pads go on, things can be a little bit different, and you saw some flashes. You want to go up and evaluate and watch the entire film, but the reality is you saw some flashes. It's a definite size difference, and what Beavers can bring to the to the linebacker position with being 6'3", 240 pounds. What Cook can bring to the back end, being a guy that's 6'1", 6'2", with some length, is something that we know we got to continue to get better at and find. But have guys that are even a little more mature and have great pride. And, I know they're transfers and they've only been here for a short amount of time. They got great pride in this program because of where they're from.
It's only been a couple of days, obviously, but Wilt and Brown, 2 new coaches, what have you seen in terms of how they're connecting with their position groups?
Good. I mean, we want to continue to see and build. I think for them just to get comfortable in their rooms as well. Obviously Chad has been here, knew us a little bit more, and has a little bit more experience, so he's fit in pretty good in that defensive staff room. Getting to know his guys always takes time, and he's had a little more time to be able to do that. But I think in Mike's situation, coming in a little bit later into a group that might not have as much leadership as some of the other ones, getting thrown in the mix as a newer guy, there's a lot of things that are kind of going. And what I've told him most importantly is that relationship you build in there, the ability for you to connect with those guys is far more important than a lot of the things that are going on. So it's a work in progress, and a lot of those things happen off the field as well.
With Mike, how did that come about? It seems like most of the guys you've had some deep ties to. This one was kind of...
No, we were kind of searching for what was going to be the best fit for us, and actually Coach Gino had a little connection with him, had interviewed him before. Then really kind of go through some of the ties of Mike Sullivan, who's a long time wide receiver coach, was actually at Ohio State before I got there and when I was being recruited, so he had a little bit of a tie that I had known him in the recruiting process, and he's a retired coach, but he's kind of the guy that's been his mentor and was someone that kind of really, after a 30-40 minute conversation with him, I was really impressed and had a better understanding of who Mike was and what we were going to get.
We've only talked to Coach Wilt once, but I get the sense he's not a guy you have to wonder if he's going to be ready to go in the morning.
No, he's born and raised in this. His dad was a coach, and even been a head coach and things like that. So we got a good. We were lucky enough to have a relationship. Coach Freeman had a relationship with him in the past a few years ago. And then we actually spent some time with him even this past summer. Just kind of ends up happening that way, and things happen. We had a great opportunity to make ourselves better.
James Wiggins had a really good sophomore year. What's the next step for him?
Trying. I mean, he's a guy that's got such natural ability. Really, the focus on being able to play above his God-given talents is where you got to challenge him. As you can see, sometimes he gets bored because he is so talented. So our ability to really challenge him in different ways is what we have to do as coaches. That's more on our shoulders. We actually did some stuff today where, in front of the team, had filmed him individually on an ISO cam just to show him what it is that everybody else is seeing. Not just the freaky plays, not just the God gifts, but all the other things that are going to give him a chance to go from being a really good player to a great, exceptional player. And that's what we need as a program, that's what we need as a team, and ultimately that's what our job is to do for him.